Hello guys, and here is your weekly dose of urban news. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update, and as always, a massive thanks to my awesome Patreon supporters and everyone else who keeps this going. This time we begin with positive news from the United States, where recently began operating a new generation of trains that look like a proper high-speed trains. More precisely, Amtrak has launched the first 5 new Acela trains on the route connecting Washington, New York, Philadelphia and Boston. The launch was originally planned for 2021, but was delayed by testing difficulties, infrastructure constraints and other obstacles related to the COVID-19 pandemic. All 28 trains built by Alstom at its Hornell plant are expected to be in service by 2027, and the cost of the project is $2.35 billion. These new trains will be capable of speeds up to 160 miles per hour and will carry 25% more passengers than the previous generation they are replacing, which has been in service for 25 years. In fact, the trains themselves are designed for speeds of up to 180 miles per hour, but the 160 limit was set due to the infrastructure conditions, so in the future, after the tracks are modernized, this limit can be raised. Of course, this is not as fast as their French sibling, the Acela Horizon, but it is still a solid number, so maybe these guys now will be able to make a similar video about the American railway.
Okay, that's actually scary.
However, the average speed is much more significant, and now it will be a little bit depressing. The new train covers 457-mile or 735-kilometer distance from Boston to Washington in about 7 hours, which makes an average speed of 70 miles per hour or 110 kilometers per hour. Just for a comparison, the distance from Paris to Marseille is 862 kilometers, and TGV trains cover it in less than 3.5 hours, meaning an average speed of 246 kilometers. Oof, what can I say? Of course, new modern trains are great news and I'm all for it, but without a sufficient infrastructure, unfortunately, they are nothing more than a nice decoration. The fact that they can reach speeds of 260 kilometers per hour makes very little sense if the average speed is 110, so there is a space for improvements, obviously, and to raise the average speed significantly, a huge investment in infrastructure is needed. And I really hope that this is planned. The government of New South Wales has announced an order for 151 new electric buses for Sydney. And with this contract, the total number of new buses purchased in New South Wales since March 2023 is 921. In the long term, the zero-emission buses program aims to replace over 8,000 of the state's diesel and gas buses with battery-powered ones. At the same time, 11 depots across Sydney are already being adapted to work with electric bus fleet, and a dedicated electric bus depot is being built in Macquarie Park. Meanwhile, Stockholm has ordered 10 additional trains from Stadler for the Roslagsbanan narrow gauge line, valued at 100 million euros. The 65-kilometer line connects the northeastern suburbs of Stockholm with the city center and has a unique 891mm gauge, which requires specially designed rolling stock. Stadler trains have been running here since 2023, and the city has now ordered additional units to replace the X10 trains, which are over 30 years old. The new trains will be able to carry around 300 passengers, including 150 seated, and will be fully accessible with barrier-free entrances and space for wheelchairs and strollers. Deliveries are scheduled to begin in 2027, with commissioning planned for 2028. The first of 20 new electric buses that will operate on bus rapid lines in Reims, France, has arrived in the city and will begin service at the end of this year. Each of these buses, built by Iveco, will be able to carry around 140 passengers with 37 seats, including 4 for people with reduced mobility and 2 spaces for wheelchairs. The lines are designed in a way that on 70% of the length, buses will have a dedicated lane and the rest of the distance will be shared with cars, which is not cool. Ticket validators still need to be installed inside the buses, and then they will begin testing them on city streets to check their range, which according to the manufacturer should be 250 kilometers. In total there will be 2 new lines. Line 1, 6.5 kilometers long, will include 15 stations between Port Colbert and the Moulin de la Housse campus, while line 2, 10.5 kilometers long, will have 17 stations and run from Reims railway station to the Carmontreuil shopping center. They will have a capacity of over 2,000 passengers per hour in both directions and will operate at intervals of 7 minutes during peak hours and 9 minutes during off-peak. Meanwhile, Japan is expecting a revival of night trains, as JR East has confirmed plans to launch a new night express with sleeping cars in 2027, connecting Tokyo with northern Tohoku. The train will be based on a modified version of the E657 series, but it won't be a regular express train. JR East will convert it into a sleeper train consisting only of private compartments, with the aim of providing passengers with a peaceful hotel-like atmosphere during their night journey. One of the goals of launching this train is to stimulate tourism to lesser-known regions such as Tohoku, while helping to save on hotel costs. If I understand correctly, there is currently only one night sleeper train in Japan, the Sunrise Express, which connects Tokyo and Izumo. In general, I think night trains are a great idea that help you travel without wasting daylight hours sitting on a train, so it's surprising that they are barely used in many countries. The Pakistani city of Lahore has launched its first fully electric trackless SART system, meaning Super Autonomous Rapid Transit.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oof. Just recently I talked about such a thing in Mexico and now Pakistan. These vehicles, developed by the Chinese company Norinco International, can carry up to 320 passengers in 3-section cars, with the option of adding a 4th section to increase capacity to over 400 passengers. They move using virtual track technology, controlled by sensors, GPS and digital mapping. A full battery charge provides a range of up to 40 kilometers, and fast charging stations can provide a range of up to 27 kilometers in 10 minutes. After testing in Lahore, the Punjab government plans to introduce the system in 10 more cities, with plans to expand it to 30 cities over the next 4 years. Wow, looks like they are not kidding. Well, another country has been tempted by a super-duper innovative gadget, but it will be interesting to follow what happens next. And that's all the news for this time. The links to the news sources, as usual, are in the video description. Thanks for watching and see you in the next videos.